So I want to start off this video by apologizing for how appalling my driving was last night. There's literally no excuse for how shit I was, quite frankly. But I'm just making this to show a few things and just explain what was going on with them. So we're starting off with this one with Tom running into the back of me. As you can see on that one, there it's definitely I've shown my intentions, and there's really no need for him to end up going into the back of me, because I've made it clear where I'm going. I'm letting him through because he's lapping me, and he still runs into the back of me, which is not my fault completely. The next one is when I was battling for the points at the second one, Imola, and I come back on track into Frank, I think it was. That one it's completely my fault. I was just caught up in the heat of the moment, way off the pace, and I found myself in the points from managing to find one or two moves and other people going off. The third one is me spinning off at the chicane that's no longer there, and then coming back on, and Lee or James, one of you two, running into the back of me. On the replays, it's kind of 50-50, but I feel that with how slow you are going at the end of that chicane, and with how far away you were when I started coming back on the track, I do feel that I was avoidable with where I was at, and there was definitely enough time to get out of the way and get round me. And I think there was enough time for me to get on the track, and I was trying not to go too quick on the throttle to make sure that I didn't wheel spin and spin off again, or affect one of you two. I've put in when I was sat at the end of turn 1 with no rear wing or no front wing. I'm just showing how cars are coming around. I knew yous were coming around because I could see you on the minimap, and I didn't want to go in case someone did run into me. So James goes past me first, and that's just after I've flipped back up the right way thanks to the game. Then it's James and Tom, and then Lee. So I didn't want to go in case we did have a collision, and so that's the reason for that one. The final one, which I've got 3 clips for, is when I ran into Sam and unintentionally helped him win the race. So I locked up and ended up having to cut the first chicane, and I thought I'd judged it right with him being where he was, so I could just go back onto the track, but I couldn't see him from where I was, and I knew if I stayed where I was, I might affect him. So I knew I had to go, and so I did try and go and then get out the way. But as I started to put my foot to the floor, the car snapped on me, and there was tried to save it, but I couldn't catch it, and did end up going in front of Sam. But as was seen, I did unintentionally help him later on, because he might have got caught up in that incident with April if it wasn't for me slowing him down when I did. So it's 50-50, but I think for that one, we were both passengers really in that one. The car just snapped on me from where I was, and that led me to go straight across in front of Sam. For obviously the one where I was sat there after I ascended it, there's people coming around. I couldn't move unless I went into their path. Then I think it's kind of 50-50 with rejoining after spinning at the chicane. It is definitely my fault after I went wide towards the back end of the lap. That was purely heat of the moment stuff. I didn't know where you guys were, and I did go in front of Frank and one of the offenders actually. Then, just to finish off this talking bit, with Tom running into the back of me, as I said, I made my intentions clear. I was letting him through where I was so he could take the race in the line and go on and continue defending in his battle, but he ran into the back of me. So there's not a lot I could have done then, but I definitely could have avoided one of those incidents